Jim Ratcliffe has a reaction to fans' ire. He's been catching a lot of stick, rightfully so. It's been a shit first year. INEOS hasn't really busted the door open and fixed all the problems. They're firing people. They're bottling some signings. I would argue with the $200 million, they didn't really do well in the summer. He gave a long-form interview to Gary Neville, hoping that would appease fans. It feels like he has some vanity about him because he wants everyone to really love him. And he's getting quite a bit of stick, and rightfully so.
I think when Jim came in a year plus back, I think he thought, I'm going to be treated as the white knight. I'm coming in. Glazers, they haven't invested in the club. They haven't hired smart people. He tried to do that. He did put $200 million in the balance sheet, which they quickly spent last summer. And they did do a modernization of Carrington, which is underway and apparently will be ready by this summer. And has hired some smart people. But at the same time, I think the press conference, not the conference, the interview he did last week with Gary Neville, I think it speaks to his vanity. And I think this quote again, sir, let's get into it, talking about the Glazer family, talking about how much ear they have received from the fans, rightly so. I think we could have turned the heat on earlier, to be honest. So his quote is, quote, "So eventually, if it reached the extent that the Glazer family have been abused, then I'd have to say, look, enough's enough, guys. Let somebody else do this." And I think based on what we saw on that interview with Neville, I just think he's an insecure guy, insecure billionaires. They seem to be a dime a dozen. And I just think he didn't realize some of the shit he's doing is wildly unpopular. We're not affected to the same degree as local Manchurians with layoffs, with ticket rises for some games, but people are pissed. People are pissed at the Glazers, and I think there's a lot of carried animosity, and now he's the front man, and he's gonna get it, because at the end of the day, fans are not like what they see on the pitch, and at the same time, they see prices going up in the future, and those are two things they don't like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's raising ticket prices for fans. And obviously we're season ticket holders. We're going to feel that next season. It's not like the product is great. The team's
far from it.
They brought in Ashworth, fired Ashworth, paid $15 million for that, plus sacking Ten Hag. Then they're killing the players fund, pulling money from the disabled supporters trust. So you're making unpopular decisions. The team is shit, and you're going to get stick for it. So this whole play the smallest violin for me, Jim Ratcliffe, I'm sorry, I'm not really buying it. You made a bunch of disastrous calls. You wasted a ton of money. Now you're penny pinching on the other side of it. You're going to get stick. And by the way, you're increasing ticket prices. He goes further to say the Glazers really can't go to matches because they've gotten so much stick. He's they basically retreated to the shadows. And he says he doesn't have security, which is total BS. The way he enters and exits the stadium, he's definitely got his head on a swivel, but he's basically saying hey, if it gets so bad, I don't want to see it. And we went to the 1958 protest before the Arsenal game. We recorded some footage. You should check it out. We have a vlog video that I'll link below about the protest, but the fans have a new song, sir, that's pretty catchy. I have to warn you, it's got some proper British swearing in it, so just enjoy this one, and I'm sure this is why Sir Jim is not feeling too hot.
Ratcliffe's a cunt, just like the Glazers. Jim Ratcliffe's a cunt. Jim Ratcliffe's a cunt. Jim Ratcliffe's a cunt, just like the Glazers. Jim Ratcliffe's a cunt.
I mean, this was really popular. It was
very popular
top
tune.
5 protest song was singing Jim Ratcliffe, and he's hearing that through Stratford End. He's hearing it every day. And it's I thought if you're a billionaire, you would have enough scrutiny on you where you would have thick skin, where clearly if I believed in all the calls I was making, I would know that the hardest of hardcore United fans would be pissed now. But down the line, they would love me because I'm fixing everything, and this is just part of the game. The seats could get a little hot, Jim. And the fact he's sensitive to it, or he says he's going to leave if it gets too hot, I just don't get it. This is always would be a tough turnaround.
Of course. And look, we were there. Fans are more pissed at the Glazers, but they are pissed at Jim because he is doing unpopular things. And
I didn't feel that. I feel
no, they were definitely more pissed at the Glazers. If you were to get we want Glazer out.
I think he's part of the INEOS. By the way, INEOS came in, and then all the cutting decisions they're doing, Ratcliffe's overseeing.
Yeah, they're the face of the project.
They did a season ticket and they did a ticket increase. So it's INEOS has been the front of the current operation,
doubt.
and people are in the streets protesting those decisions. So I would say that, yes, Glazers are considered like the worst of the worst, but INEOS is within a year come like right up next to them, unfortunately. And, you know, I think Sir Jim is trying to like be in the spotlight or give the interviews, and I give him credit for that. But like when I was surprised how much the protest was focused on him and INEOS versus the Glazers. Like I was surprised the other way, how close Jim is now with them almost. Like I felt like he was treated as like a peer, basically.
Oh, you think he'd be given like you said? I think he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. It's like he wants to be the front of this project. He has to do unpopular shit. And you know what? He should have expected the fans to be fucking mad in the near term, but they will turn. That's the thing. Is like fans are fickle. So if you start playing well, you start doing things off the pitch, even on the pitch, that kind of win back fans' favor in terms of signings, performance, winning cups. That helps. But right now, it's just like he should be able to just weather the storm, keep your head down, don't do fucking interviews, and just get shit done. Hire smart people, bring in good recruitment, get out the bluffers.
But he's not. He's out doing damage.
That's what, I think that's a
control in the
mistake.
press.
I think it's a mistake to go and expose himself in these pressers.
But I also want to add one thing, that they've also fucked it because they have bad PR. It's like they just like, I remember when they like took Fergie's job and they like went out in the street and just like shot him
That
like
was
a, you know,
stupid.
it's like, by the way, like do it in a ceremonial way, like thank him, like have him like accept an award.
Have some
and then,
video.
like,
Post some video.
yeah, and just be like, hey, and like try to PR spin it into not a big deal, but they're just like doing horrible things from a PR perspective, and that adds up over time. It's like I would know that if I was running this business, I'd be very sensitive to the fans. I'd be like explaining everything, like the season ticket costs, I'd push out, like, and they just done everything without thinking about it, without thinking about the messaging or the PR, and it just looked really bad. It sounded really bad. It sounds so bad that they don't even care. And they probably don't care, you know, and that's like a big part of it.
You're also, I mean, look at the Neville interview is really telling. When Neville presses him about like the $40K for the former players. And he's like, you could raise money in like a variety of ways. And he was kind of like, yeah. I just think like he's not, maybe they're not like they're
But you
going so
have to
fast.
be.
Maybe, no, you should be, because it's all about messaging. It's all about keeping the people on your
So
side.
he's told
and
them, cut everything. I don't care.
clearly.
So,
No, clearly. Like
okay.
no
He said,
expenses.
cut
too small.
everything. I don't care. Like, I'm
The
a ruthless
40K,
billionaire.
the
I don't
40
care about
it
these
sounds
dumb
like it.
ex-players. I don't care. But you don't tell everybody that.
No, you don't.
You don't
don't.
tell
You
everybody
don't. You
that.
don't
So,
do that.
but the instructions are coming from him. He can't play like he doesn't know. Let us know what you think about Jim Ratcliffe. Is this a good sign that he's this worried about it, or a bad sign? I think it's a bad sign that he's shown that he is vain and that he cares what people think and seems to be sensitive, and then following up on what I thought was disastrous interview, saying
Doing
like,
more.
if they really don't like me, then I'm going to leave. I don't get it. Why would it's like $1.2 billion? You gotta have more sense than like it's not a popularity contest. But you know, hey, I don't have a billionaire's ego, sir. So who knows? Please like, subscribe to the channel. Check out our vlogs, our match day vlogs, protest vlog as well, and we'll see you in the next video.